What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Andy the Middle Aged Gamer and this is the 2023 Tokyo Marui AKX GBBR review. Now, a huge thank you is owed to Defcon Airsoft for the amount of hoops they went through to get my pre-order in. This rifle was bought by me in full through Defcon Airsoft. They managed to get my order within a week of its release, which is ridiculously fast considering as of this recording of this video, it's not anywhere in this country other than at Defcon. So good on them and thank you. I'll leave a link in the description below. Give those guys some love. Purchase some products or get your own AKX from them. With that being said, let's dive in. Now, I keep getting asked what is an AKX whenever I mentioned it. And I tried to tell them it's the AK everyone wants out of the box without having to go through the hoops and rigmarole of converting an older style or more traditional styles AK platform to become more modernized. I myself have been coming at this from a AR guy because I really am in my heart an AR guy. AR-15 platform, you know, any of that style, even the new SIG Spears, whatever you want to call it, that type of weapon is my bread and butter in that respect. I love that format. It feels good to my hands. When I look at a traditional AK, not so much. I've always wanted one. I've always wanted to dabble in that world, but until now, there's never been anyone who's ever bothered to do a truly modernized out-the-box AK. You usually have to buy a 105, spend about $1,000 in the current economic climate and restrictions on Russian equipment to modernize it to, how would you say, workable, skirmishable form and have the furniture I wish just to put my lights and lasers on there that I like. So, yeah. Kudos for Tokyo Marui coming out the box with a ready-made AK that has all the realistic features and is going to be reliable and durable. So with that, let's do what we always do. Let's start at the rear and work our way forward. Okay, so let's start at the rear of the rifle and work our way forward. Starting at the rear, we've got the stock here. This is a pure nylon fiber polymer stock. Even the actual butt plate is polymer, although it does provide a nice slight angle contour for getting it into your shoulder and giving you grip. There is no play in it. It's very rigid and locks into place. If you're not a fan of the stock, the benefit is the rear trunnion here has a 1913 Picatinny mount style, so the SIG style of mounting. And this little knob here on the top is for locking down your top cover quite easily and keeping it rigid so you can keep an optic on the top cover and it will not lose zero. Now, there is a lightning cut in the rear trunnion to try and reduce some weight. Moving on, we get to the pistol grip. Now, the pistol grip for this is really nice. It's got a nice, substantial feel to it. And I do like the construction. There is no flex, there's no bend, it's properly rigid. But if you're not a fan of either the stock or this, they're very easily changeable for you. There is a smaller screw in the AKX over the AKM, so you can easily use that screw and put a Magpul AK stock in there. Whatever you really wish to do, you can run. Now, we'll move a little bit further forward. We get to the trigger itself. The trigger is a really amazing star of a piece. It feels like something that Terran Tactical would have done. It's so lightweight. If I drop the safety off, there is no rounds in there and the hammer has dropped, but you can find it here. Like, you can just see the amount of pull. So if I charge the weapon, you've got 1-2 mils of take up and you feel the wall. Then there's a 1-2 mil past and you'll hit the brake and the hammer will go click. Now if I reset it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 reset back to the beginning. You feel the wall and it's easy to do it again. The weight of that trigger, it's about 2 pounds in weight to pull, give or take. I've seen some people say it's 1.5. I've seen say 1.8. If we say on the worst side it's a 2 pound trigger, that's bloody lightweight. It's designed for speed shooting and you can. Having taken this into gameplay, oh my God, does this thing rock. Now, speaking of which, you've got your enlarged trigger guard like all AKs seem to have, except on this you have this cool fancy magazine release. You can do your traditional AK by pressing the button here, or you can use your trigger finger without shifting your grip, pushing down on that and removing the mag. Now, the magazines themselves are aluminum mags. When I got this, if you pick it up and feel it in your hand, it feels like a plastic magazine shell over a metal tank. You've got the weight of the tank in there, but it feels plasticky. And that's because the coating they used on it has just been absolutely amazing. And it's just great, well engineered. The majority of all this mag here is your gas tank. And as you can see, you have your striker valve here covered by this bar. This allows the gun to do the click, no bang, which means if I push in this safety here and then pull down, you can see it starting to dip down out the way. So as the follower is loaded with BBs, it's live. The moment it comes up, it does that and it pushes the striker arm over the top of it and stops it from firing, but allows the hammer to drop. Now I'll leave that out for now. Let's move it slightly forward. Now, as you can see, I've equipped mine with an RMR on the top, a Defcon RMR. Now the receiver itself has all the correct pins in the right place, the 3 pins there, which is nice. And it features some unique numbers here on the receiver. I don't know if you can see them. I would love to know, because I'm not AK savvy. I'm more of an AR guy. But what does the 1975 represent? My idea is it's possibly the model this receiver is based off of, the design of that style. I know that's your serial number here, and then you've got your proof markings just around there, which is kind of cool. But I'd love to know in the comments if you let me know what that actually signifies. I would be deeply grateful for that. Moving forward, we get to our M-LOK handguard. Now, as you can see, I fitted mine with a front hand stop, which is quite nice, allowing my palm to actuate the tactical light if I wish to use it. You do get Picatinny slots. There are 3 slots on each. This is a 7-inch barrel with a 7-inch handguard. So you get the 3, 6, and 9, and in the in-between parts. So if I flip that up, you can see here, these actual in-between are workable Picatinny slots. So you can fit things at an angle if you wish. You design yours the way you wish to go. On the top, you have this Picatinny rail section here, which is slightly stepped down. If I get this in, you can just see a slight step down. It's not much, but it's welcome, especially if you're going to run a pet box on the top or a D-ball on this section here, because then you can have your rear sight with only a micro riser on the back. It would easily allow you to use it, which is really good. Moving forward, we get to our front sight and gas block, as you would say. Now, this is windage and elevation adjustable. As you can see, you get a tool with like a clockwork key tool in the box to adjust the windage. I should say the elevation. The windage, you just smack this little piece here, left or right, to knock it into line. It's kind of cool for that. Now, here at the front, you have your specially designed AKX muzzle brake. It is a beautiful muzzle brake, a full metal aluminum piece. It's held in place by this retention pin here. It's spring-loaded, so you can easily push and turn your muzzle off. If I do that a couple of times, it should get it past. There we go. And that will reveal your 14mm counterclockwise threads to put on your own suppressor. Now, one thing I heard is people saying that the inner barrel goes the entire way. It doesn't. Because this is a Tokyo Marui, they can't get away with that. So I'll try and fold this stock in so I can get this on camera for you. As you can see, it's about 1.5 inches recessed back into the actual barrel. Sorry, get that in view. There we go. Which means that, yes, you're not going to get any dual creep or as much dual creep in the summer as you would do, if it was a full length or a longer barrel. Now, I do love the muzzle brake on this. It's absolutely amazing. And you can just keep pushing that pin back in. It's not going to let your muzzle brake come off, which is kind of cool. Now, if we flip this around and we take a look from the other side, let's get that put back on here. Now, when this gun is in safe, the trigger is locked and the bolt is locked too. You've got your full auto and down all the way down for semi. You do have a QD point here. On the M-LOK rail section, you have a QD point mirrored on both sides. So you can have your front QD there and your rear one is on this side. Again, it's entirely up to you if you're going to keep this stock. If you change it, you will lose that key, that actual mounting point, as they say. Now, you do have some, let's get some of the markings there. You can see you've got your Russian markings for semi, full auto, which is great. Your Tokyo Marui markings have been engraved here. There is a rear sight hidden here. So you just flip that up and that's your little rear sight. It's a little peephole. But yeah, as for the only other marking is your M-LOK symbol here. The front gas block does have its lever there, so if you don't like this handguard and you want to swap it for a more traditional, you can do so, no problem. Just undo that, unscrew this, these 4 screws here, as well as a screw, should I say, here underneath this part that's covered up. And you can take the whole handguard off and swap it for something that you're interested in. Now that we've got through that, let's take this outside, let's chronograph it, and then we can strip it down when we get back in. Okay, let's chronograph this baby and let's see what she's running at. I'm running 0.25 gram BBs and green gas. So what's that give us an average on 2.5s? So that's an average of, call it 280 FPS with 2.5 gram BBs on green gas with an ambient temperature of 8 degrees outside. Okay, let's step it back to about 10 meters, which is your average CQP engagement, and let's see what the grouping size is. Wow, that's small. Putting my hand there, it's like my thumb can cover that up. That's not bad. Okay, so let's do the Texas Star. Remembering that each plate is only 2 inches wide at max. So let's see what the actual accuracy of this gun's really like. Let's step it back. And still got BBs in. That is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, well, that was awesome. It really made mincemeat of that Texas tree, or Texas Star, should I say, and, you know, the accuracy is amazing. I mean, the fact that my thumb could cover all those 10 rounds was ridiculous. The grouping on this is phenomenal. Good on you, TM, for doing what you do. Now, let's take this gun apart before we get into my final thoughts. And as I'm doing this, if you've got this far in the video and you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and a hit that like button and the notification bell so you know when more are coming in. Now let's take the mag out. As you can see, there is no BBs, so we can get rid of that. We can inspect the chamber. It's out. Drop that hammer for now. Okay, so if we rest the gun there, we can unscrew the rear here, which once that's backed out all the way, it allows me now to press the button and lift the top cover. We'll go over that in a moment. As you can see, we can set the hammer, pull out our 2-part guide rod and buffer, and we can pull out the bolt carrier and its long stroke piston. Now, let's have a look in here first, shall we? So, here on your left, you have your hop adjustment. If you push it that way from the top, you will get more hop. If you pull it the way backwards, you will have less hop. On the right, if I can get my finger in, is your dry fire adapter. Now, it's a bit of a finicky thing to do, but if you get it, pull it in and lift it up like that, the gun will now dry fire and work all day long. Or you can just knock it out the way and drop it out, which is great. And then you get your click, no bang. Without the bolt-in, the hammer won't drop because it needs this here sort of thing to be tripped. So if I click that, you can do it, and then you can reset the hammer back. Now, I like that. I'm not bothered that this doesn't have the braided, steel spring for the hammer and all that a traditional AK would have. I don't mind that TM have done this because at the end of the day, it's done what's reliable and functional. As you can see, it's all full metal parts in there. There is no plastic, which is great. Everything that should be steel is steel. Everything that should be aluminum or less is. It's just an absolutely awesome piece. Now, I have not oiled this gun since I bought it. I have had this now since, like I say, the beginning of April. I have put more than 3,000 rounds from it, and that's basically how you can see it with the same oil that was on there from the factory. Now, this is compatible with everything from the AKM, so if you wish to go back, you can do. Although I don't understand why you would want to. You can. Now, if we put this back on here and get that out of the way, we can take a look at the bolt carrier. Now, the one thing I love about TM is, unlike the GHK, you have a bolt that retracts, or let's just say a nozzle that retracts. On the GHK, there's no retraction, it just stays out. And as the bolt's going back, this can easily, under shaking, get knocked out of alignment and come off the rails. That leads the whole thing to lift up, bend your recoil rods, springs, and just damage your gun completely. So yeah, I do like they've done that. It's quite nice. The weight of this is hefty. This is really, really heavy. And everything on this is full metal, which is really good. It's substantial and works. It can easily be placed in like that, and we can put that back into place. Now, when it comes to the recoil rod, this is a 2-piece style, which is really great. And you do get an adjustable buffer. So if you wish the gun to be a little bit more, short stroked, you can take this nut out, add a few more rubber washers, and put this a few, centimetre or so further forward to just give you that little bit of a faster cyclic rate if you wish to go. But right now, with what it's got, it's really, really good. I'm certainly enjoying it. You know, I think it's really, really nice. It's got a proper rubber buffer at the back that absorbs quite a lot of impact, and you need it. As you can see, this gun is one of the hardest recoiling guns I own. It was almost equal to the 417, which is ridiculous, you know. But there are many things to upgrade. The difference on this between the AKM is they've skeletonized the stem for the recoil guide rod and spring, which is great, meaning more lightweight they can, the better. Because again, we all like full metal builds, but with metal builds come weight. Now, as you can see, this is perfectly in, and you can do that. Now, we can always do a function test while we're in. Now that we've assembled it, we can prep it, put that in. There's nothing in the chamber, but the gun will fire once. And then we can let the trigger out, and it's gone down because it's on full auto. If I do it again, make sure it's in semi, it would do that. Trigger goes click, and hammer goes with no bang, which is awesome. So it's easy to put back, just like all AKs are. It's really simple. Now we get to the top cover. Now the top cover is held together with 3 hex screws, one on either side here, and another one here in the middle. There's just a 2-piece, but it's very substantial, very solid, and it isn't going to shift. So to put this back on, you just have to index it here properly, just hold it in, click it on, and then we tighten back down our screw here, and that now holds it in place. It will not shift zero, it will go back to exactly how I had it when I zeroed it, and that is just awesome. So yeah, this gun is heavy, as you can see. It's knocking over me stands, but that's what you buy an AK for, I guess. That substantial side of things. But yeah, so that's it, guys. My opinions, my thoughts. Other than the stock, I think the stock is the weakest point of this build. You do need to have a little bit more weight at the rear just to bring the balance more central, so that you wouldn't mind so much with the weight up front towards the rear being balanced. It's better. You can get that point shooting very easily. This is a short barreled AK, so therefore, you know, you want to have the weight more balanced for a quick point shoot, you know, go from low ready to aim and then pull your follow-up shot and not be straining your wrist so that at the end of a couple of games, you're absolutely worn out. You want to enjoy this, and that's the whole point of it. But as for the build itself, it's very solid. The tolerances on this build is absolutely phenomenal. There is no play, there is no give, there's no flex, there's no rattle. Everything just fit and feeds correctly. And I love that about this build. It is just absolutely stunning. The magazines get you approximately 75 to 80 rounds per semi-auto at the moment, with about 8 degrees outside. That's phenomenal efficiency for the mags, you know, because remember, you've got that massive big bolt that has to cycle. You could probably improve that by short stroking it a little bit. That would probably help. Just little bits like that. But out the box, this is phenomenal. And I believe there are proper AK-12 mags. So if you want to make this into an AK-12 by putting a buffer tube extension adapter here on the back, you can do. They sell them at wgcshop.com. And then you just stick an M4 buffer on there and get the same sort of look as an AK-12. You've already got the handguard sort of thing and the rails sorted, so you can go down that way, or you could do the AK-12 handguard if you wish. There's so many different options with it that you wouldn't get with another AK, not without spending a lot of time and money on buying the parts and then figuring it out. You know, not every one of us is a gunsmith, and we want something, especially when you're spending $699.99 out the box. You want it to do what it needs to do. You don't want to spend any extra money, you know, and that's why I really enjoy this. I think it's absolutely an amazing piece of kit. I've been truly blessed to own this thing. Yeah, I do plan on getting a Russian cylindrical little foregrip for the front. The problem is, at the moment, they're out of stock everywhere. Again, thanks to taxes, interest rates, cost of importation, you name it, the war. There's so many excuses I can use. You just can't find them. And whenever you do, people want like 90 to 100 pounds for them, and it's ridiculous, stupid money. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like the AKX? Do you think that TM have finally nailed it? They've got a gun that's fun and great out the box, skirmishable, but has all the real features. The click, no bang, the great efficiency on the mags, the low cost of the mags, the fact that it runs AKM mags, which I have ordered one, and we're just waiting for them to come, and I'll do a little video comparing the two, see what the efficiency is like, and that, because it does fit and feed their AKM mags. You know, if you like that ribbed metal look, you can put that on this. You know, there's lots of things that you could do, and the future's bright for it. I think, like I say, they've nailed it, but I'd love to know what you guys would do. What would you do to this gun to make it even better, you know, except for HPA in it? With that being said, I've been the Middle-Aged Gamer, and you guys have been absolutely awesome. And I'll see you in the next one.